I happen to know Mr. Biden for quite a long time. He does not have suffer from so-called Alzheimer's. He's a strong-minded man. We may argue or may debate, we may swear things sometimes as human beings, but I think it is unfair the way some so-called pro-Republicans are using this kind of noise. A person who's supposed, who's on top of the fucking world, we know it, has a right to be in a loss of words. And these loss of words maybe he's pushed or he is thinking about how to deal with this thing, or called Hamas past terrorism, and of course what to do with what is and will be the solidest, most solid friendly ally in the Middle East, even if things go down to the drain of Benin. So that's unfair. Other than that, how how car industries were built to promote their product in Ukraine puts more questions about Ukraine's allegiances. Yeah, I think that there's at least a handful of good defense industries in free Europe and in the United States who could handle the project. Or in that case, as a NATO-linked ally, but not a NATO ally, perhaps look at things would fall, and as much people as they are, and in great need, they could make it happen, and at lower cost. So someone is pushing, creating an Ukraine, Russia, Turkey, yeah right, triangle in order to keep the Black Sea under control, which means that the West, as we traditionally call it, is supposedly out, and the only axis is again Ukraine, with few options like Romania or Bulgaria. So someone is trying to set up a theater of course, and along with war, I think. Other than that, I'm in favor of support until April or May when it comes to offensive weapons, and we'll see how they will use the flying toys, and see what is a combat weapons, which of course the assistance will not fade, but invariably change to defensive weapons. And someone has to learn here that the resources may be vast, but nobody should take in any way after a certain point what happens in Ukraine as a way to measure Western strength. Let's not forget that among others, I also pushed for Soviet era weapons and for older type of Western weapons, even to keep the balances, because we desperately need the few channels available with Kremlin, but Kremlin, in all its arrogance collectively, has to understand that should they launch a full-scale attack, as if they remember the bad selves, the badass selves, Soviet to take over Ukraine after days, then maybe, finally, we have a say about this, and maybe some Russian general in Kremlin may get a phone call, no matter how badass they may be, how big time wins they may earn, to stop So if it is some kind of college or a post-graduation seminar for those ridiculed 2 years ago on how to take over a country in 7 days, they may graduate, they may take the certificate, but again, they failed big time before the eyes of the entire military unit on how to conquer over 500,000 square kilometers country, how to dispose the regime they didn't like, and how to further fuck up before the eyes of true Russian patriots, which is the real deal. The problem is not Mr. Zelensky, but the Russian patriots, those who love Russia, not because it's big, it's crime, it's 6,000 weapons, not because women are nice. Every young female is at least cute. She's pretty, even better. At a certain point, unfortunately, Mr. Homo sapiens takes over, and the female gained an access in the 20th century mainly about converting this kind of beauty to the strength of mind, which we are obligated to, no exceptions. And it's sad to see how this fine human asset, which is the finest human stock, is wasted instead of making sure they have the right character to choose the right man, instead forever to be them and raise children and further inspire the Russian culture, the Russian civilization, as Mr. Putin said, rightfully to a point. They're sending Russian men, young boys, unarmed, poorly trained, to go and die for something that is hardly an excuse. Do these people send their sons and daughters in this war? Do they believe they're turning their own king, the Ukrainians, to beasts of war and win or free the entire Ukraine and invade Russia as best as they can, gives them the last option, the last resort to use nuclear weapons against their own king? Are they thinking as Russian patriots? This kind of corruption that they live in. After 30 years, they have bankrupted their house fully. So I insist about full removal of the government. That means that we are just an inch of a hair away from a nuclear war, because they will do that if they see that their asses on the line, and whatever they do, even if they remember they call themselves like fathers of a daughter or a son, straight bastard, anywhere on this globe, that they will do it in order to keep their name safe and holy, in whatever they call their tribe, in this ever fallen post-Soviet Union.